Welcome everyone to this edition of our interview series with wonderful health practitioners from the local Boroondara area. And today I've got Cordy here because Cordy is a personal trainer. She loves getting people strong and fit and uses all sorts of techniques, functional fitness, Pilates, concepts, weight training, all that sort of stuff. Welcome, Cordy.
Thank you for having me.
An absolute pleasure. So I really wanted to do this interview because I wanted to get specific on core strength. How does that help people? Why do we want to do it? But also, folks, we're in for a treat because Cordy's going to take us through a core strength workout that you can do at home to help you out. So, Cordy, why core strength?
Core strength is important for all movements in the gym, all movements at home. So you need your core, it's your powerhouse, and your core strength including your glutes. So your core, your abs that we know, your glute strength, also your lower back and your shoulders. That's the basis for all of our movements in life and at the gym. So you need a strong core.
Got it. So if you're thinking that I need core strength because I'm an elite athlete or I want to be able to...
abs.
You want abs. It's not about what you're looking like, folks. It's how you're functioning. And that concept of functional fitness is so critical because there's no point just having a big bicep if it doesn't help you in life.
Yeah, in your day-to-day life. So no point in just, as you said, growing that bicep if you don't have the stability and mobility to grab a load of shopping out of the car and bring it in one load without putting excessive stress on your back.
Absolutely. And look, I'm always banging on about patients it's about efficiencies. If our body is working and moving and functioning efficiently, we're going to be healthier and we're going to go longer in life, and we're going to have less problems, less breakdowns, but we're also going to have more power and more effectiveness in life. And I think that's what we're going to get into today.
Yeah,
So it involves the abs, the low back, the glutes, right through there. So are there things that we should do, shouldn't do in order to get the best out of our core?
Yeah, absolutely. So with Pilates, it's all about the rib to hip connection and also the breath. So using the breath to control that movement. Also about that ability to stabilize through the pelvis. So not just doing 100 sit-ups and working through your superficial ab muscles, but working through those deeper core stabilizing muscles, which of course helps us with our day-to-day life and our strength training as well.
Got it. So it's a real focus on combining breath with movement. Is that a principle there of Pilates?
Yeah, absolutely. And that ability to stabilize and control your core.
Gotcha. And so does that have to be done in a gym setting or what's needed?
No, so my speciality is mat Pilates. So I like to incorporate mat Pilates with almost all of my clients at the gym, whether they be new to strength training, new to the gym, they might have some muscle imbalances or some injuries, or they may have been quite experienced in the gym. So working through your mat Pilates, which means of course you can just do it at home, on the floor, incorporating that into your day-to-day life or in the gym setting.
Got it. And how often should someone be doing their core exercises?
Well, it's a good question. I would be doing a specific core exercise at least 2 or 3 times a week. However, it doesn't need to be a 45-minute core session. It can just be incorporated at the start or at the end of a gym workout, or just 10 minutes 3 times a week at home is totally fine. But the other thing that I'll mention is that with every movement that we do in our day-to-day life or at the gym, the core is always turned on. So it's not about just focusing on the core when you're doing your ab exercises, but through every exercise and hopefully through day-to-day life as well.
You got it. So having a core that's switched on is going to help you at midweek tennis competitions. It's going to help you carry the shopping out of the car. It's going to be getting kids in and out of cots or out of the car. Really does translate. So just as little as 10 minutes can be a great core workout.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I'll show you soon. We'll be building up our core exercises. So you won't be able to do much more than 10 minutes, to be fair.
She's going to work you so hard at the end of that 10 minutes. Ooh, you're going to be feeling it, the burn. Burn.
Absolutely.
I love that burn. A little bit scared, but hey, let's get into the workout. what do people need to look out for? Like, what are some of the potential dangers or red flags maybe about doing a core workout?
Yeah, absolutely. So any pain through the lower back is a no-no. We don't want to feel that. We don't want to feel any excessive tension through the shoulders and the neck or the upper back either. So we just want to feel quite an intense feeling of the muscles working through the core, perhaps the lower core, but that's all. Got it.
There you go, folks. So this is something that is super important, but it's super important to do at your pace, not at Cordy's pace. Or if it is Cordy's pace, hey, you're doing pretty well. But remember, this is all scalable. So what Cordy's going to take you through is going to be a build-up, starting simple, and we'll move to more advanced. So don't overdo it, but you've got to stress your body a little bit to get it to grow and to get it to get stronger.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so I'll be building on with this core workout and giving variations for some of the exercises as well. So you can pick your level.
Brilliant. Well, let's get into it. We're going to throw over to the floor and we'll get into this core workout with Cordy.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so today I'll be taking you through a short but efficient core Pilates session. All you need is a mat, a little bit of space, but we won't be moving around too much. So this core session shouldn't take too long, and I'll be building up in a way that you can pick your own pace. So listen out for when I say, this is option 1, this is option 2 if you want more of a challenge. So to begin with, I'm just going to take you through a couple of key principles with Pilates. So to begin with, we're working quite intensely through our deep abdominal muscles and also our pelvic floor. So what we refer to that area as the T-zone. So if you were to draw an imaginary T from one hip, runs across from one hip to the other, and then the other part of the T running down to your pelvic bone, that's the letter T. So the vertical part of the T corresponds to your pelvic floor, and then the horizontal part of the T are your deep abdominal muscles. So what we're thinking is we're lifting up through the vertical area of the pelvic floor, which corresponds to the vertical part of the T. So you're bringing up, sucking up, and then flattening out across the horizontal part of the T. So that's our pelvic floor. So the second part of the Pilates principles is connection with our breath. So there's an inhale and an exhale breath with every part of the movement. On the inhale, you'll be lifting up through that pelvic floor, and on the exhale, you'll be driving the ribs down towards the hips. So listen out for that as well. Okay, so let's start. The first exercise is lift and extend. So we're laying down on our back, feet are hip distance apart, hands are relaxed by your side. While you're here, you've got a neutral spine, so tailbone is down and there's a little natural arch in your lower back. Head and shoulders are relaxed. You're inhaling to lift one leg up, exhale, shoot that leg over the mat, inhale, back to tabletop, and exhale down. And then your alternating side, inhale to lift, exhale, extend, inhale, return, exhale, down. So just alternating sides here, really reaching out with that kicking leg, long away from your body, and starting to connect with that breath. So every time you're inhaling, you're lifting up through that T-zone. And every time you exhale, you're taking the ribs down towards the hips to create a really strong core. Challenge here is to keep stable through the lower core and the pelvis. And for both knees to stay straight up towards the ceiling and not rocking side to side. Head just relaxed on the mat, chin tucked in, all about the lower core and pelvis here. Okay, so we'll just do one more on each side. Inhale, lift, exhale, extend, inhale back, exhale down. Other side, inhale, lift, exhale, extend, inhale back, exhale down. Okay, and resting there. So the next exercise is ab curl 1. which is similar to an ab curl that you would normally see in the gym, but it's a lot more controlled. So starting the same position, feet are hip distance apart, tailbone is down, little natural arch in the lower back. This time, hands behind the head, elbows wide. Inhale to prepare, lifting up through that T-zone. And as you exhale, slide the ribs down towards the hips, lifting the head and shoulders up. And inhale back down. Exhale, curl up. Inhale, back down. Nice and slow and controlled. Just looking towards the knees. Challenge here is to still keep the tailbone down on the ground and not let the pelvis rock back up to meet you as you come up. Keep that tailbone down on the mat, elbows wide. So really thinking about ribs sliding down towards the hips on that exhale breath, not pulling on the head and shoulders, initiating the movement from the ribs, nice and controlled on the way down. Now I'm going to move on to ab curl 2, which is the next challenge up. So stay at ab curl 1 if that's challenging enough today. Otherwise, we're imprinting the lower spine, taking both legs up into tabletop, squeezing the knees together, and then continue on with our inhale and exhale, up and down. So knees are directly above the hips. Legs are at a 90-degree angle. Back is imprinted. If it starts to pop up, go back to ab curl 1. Okay. So next one, we'll be working through the obliques a little bit more. So staying in the same position, back into our neutral spine little gap, holding this position. Inhale to prepare, exhale, curl up and twist. Inhale, back down. Exhale, curl up and twist. Inhale, back down. So the same principles as before, we're trying to keep that neutral spine. Elbows are wide, not pulling on the head and shoulders, and really connecting with that breath. So we can keep working through this one, or for an extra challenge, resting back down, imprinting the lower back into the mat, legs up into tabletop, squeeze the knees together, ab curl 2. Connecting with that breath, forceful exhale, breath up, inhale, back down. Thinking opposite rib to opposite hip, just looking past the opposite knee as you come up. So you'll start to really feel a burn after those two. The next one I have, give the head and shoulders a bit of a rest for this one, is pendulum. Hands are out to your side, palms down. Imprint the lower back into the ground. Take both legs up into tabletop position. And then we're inhaling, letting the knees fall over to the side and using your opposite core to pull the knees back in on the exhale breath. So inhale, lower, exhale, lift. So challenge here is to keep the knees together so they're both in line and to keep that imprinted spine the whole time. Trying not to push through the ground here, keeping those legs at a 90-degree angle. If you're having trouble with your back popping off the ground, you can bring the knees a little bit closer to your chest. For an extra challenge here, when we're in the lowest position, we're extending the top leg back into tabletop and moving through to the other side. So this is pendulum 2 with the leg extension. Do a couple more here. Inhale, let the legs drop. Exhale, back to tabletop. Inhale, other side. Exhale, back to tabletop. Okay, and resting both feet down. I have a couple more exercises here. Now remember, this is building up in intensity. So you may find that those first couple of exercises are all you need for now. But for those who want a bit more of a challenge, let's start to add in these ones. The next one is toe taps. This is a great one to include. So imprinted spine, legs up into tabletop, keeping that 90-degree angle. We are inhaling to prepare, and exhale, lower one leg down towards the ground, back into tabletop. All about control here. So slowly down, slowly back. Lower back is imprinted the whole time. Chin tucked in, head and shoulders relaxed on the mat. Just working through those deep abdominal core muscles and stabilizers. So a couple more here. Exhale to lower, inhale to lift, exhale to lower, inhale to lift. Meet both legs in the middle and then gently lower back down. Okay, really got the intensity coming up now. The next one is bicycle legs. So, hands behind your head, elbows wide, imprint the lower back into the mat, legs up into tabletop. Big inhale breath, exhale, curl up, this time holding this position. And then exhale, extend one leg out, back to tabletop. Exhale, other leg out, back to tabletop. Elbows are wide the whole time. Starting to get a few little shakes. This is a very intense one. If it's a bit too challenging, you can give a couple of repetitions a go. Head back down, quick rest, curl back up, ribs to hips, extending a couple more times, connecting with that breath. Exhale to extend, inhale back, extend, inhale back. Head and shoulders back on the ground, 1 foot at a time back down. That's a very intense one. I've got one more core exercise for you. If you're still with me, you'll be burning as much as I am. The next one is crisscross. So you may recognize this one as bicycles in the gym, but it is a lot more controlled. And you'll really feel the burn with this one. So again, imprinting spine, one leg at a time up into tabletop. Hands behind your head, interlock your fingers and elbows wide. We're curling up, holding this position. And then as we exhale, we're extending one leg with the oblique twist, back to tabletop, exhale, alternating side. So challenge here, not letting the bent leg come any closer to your chest. Keep it in that tabletop position and elbows wide. Think rib to opposite hip. Same thing here if this is too challenging today. Rest back down in the middle, reset, exhale, curl up, and a couple more reps each side. Imprinted spine the whole time here. Meet back in the middle, head and shoulders down, one leg at a time back down, and you really should be feeling a burn after this, but I have one more exercise to show you. Finishing off with a good old-fashioned plank. But there's a couple of things to think about, especially in Pilates. We're thinking about that rib to hip connection. We're not just dumping the load through our lower back and holding a plank for as long as possible. So you can do this in a high plank position or on your elbows. But what I want you to think about in this position is the tilting of the pelvis. So this is what I don't want to see. We're thinking pelvis up towards the belly button, ribs down towards the hips. That whole area is squeezed on. This can also be done on your knees, but still keeping that nice long line. Pelvis up towards the belly button, hips down towards the ribs. So holding here for a couple of breaths. Every time you inhale, you're tilting up towards the ribs, and every time you exhale, nice forceful breath, draw the ribs in and down towards the hips, and holding here tight, you'll feel everything switch on. So that one is a nice little challenge for you to finish off with, keeping the pelvis up towards the belly button, one strong straight line from tip to toe, and see if you can finish off with a minute of a Pilates plank. That's all I've got for you today. You'll be really burning after that, as you can see that I've worked pretty hard too.
Whoa, there you go. There you have it, folks. Thanks, Cordy, for that wonderful core strength Pilates workout. You don't need any equipment. You really just got to get started. So if you're looking for a way to strengthen, to stabilize, to prevent problems coming in the future, or just to give you that little bit more ease doing your day-to-day activities, then get stuck into that exercise, get stuck into that routine that Cordy just went through. And as she said, 2, 3, 4 times a week would be awesome. And as always, if you have any drama or any problems with it, please let me know next time we catch up. But just an awesome workout. We thank Cordy. And look, jump onto her website. If you need some training, then she is the one to go to. So till next time, love doing these interviews. If you've got any suggestions, please let me know. Otherwise, go visit www.aschiro.com for more. See you soon.